Riri's like a strict, bossy, like old lady.
Oh, jeez.
What up, everybody? It's a Long Story Short Show, Comic World for you. We like to talk about comics that come out this week. It is Thursday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Spread some love, show some love. We'll be talking about the comics that came out Wednesday, February 13th. So, I'm Corey. This is Jen. And right here in the middle, damn it, is CJ. And yeah, we're going to talk about some comics. Just to get the ball rolling, I'm going to start it off with Avengers No Road Home #1. So we got another 10-week series. So this is like Avengers No Surrender. It uses some of the same people, and it's fucking awesome. It's got a lot going on, so I'm starting with this because it's thick. All right. So we start off, and it's Hercules, and all he's doing is telling like a story about like the gods of Olympus. He's like, yes, there's Artemis, the mighty archer, and of course Hermes, the fleet of foot, always the first to strike. Poseidon, he's got a trident that could quell the storms, and then of course my father, god of all gods and lord of the lightning, and don't even forget my sister, the warrior woman who's stronger than all warriors. Yes. I remember we were fighting a giant snake monster from the head of Medusa.
Hey, Hercules, come back to Earth.
Oh, wait, what are we doing? Some lady's like, yo, we got a situation over here, like a hardware store is being robbed. He's like, oh, yes, of course, sorry. It's so fucking funny. Like, he goes off, he's like, after we beat the monster, we went back to Mount Olympus and we drank and had mead, of course. And they always overflowed our chalices from the very Dionysus. You couldn't take us away from there if you tried. Even though I have no idea why you would want to try. And this lady, this cop is like, yeah, that's nice and good, but we kind of got a situation over here. Like, oh, yes, of course. A hero is in need. And so, like, a hardware store is being robbed, and it's fucking Rocket. It's Rocket Raccoon. He's in there because he's not with the Guardians right now. And, he's just over there fucking shooting a bunch of stuff. And he's mad. He's like, look, I just came in here to buy some stuff. And everybody started freaking out, so I started shooting people. And so, yeah, put a pin in that. That's what's happening over there. So later, you got Spectrum, Monica Rambeau, the lady that can turn to any kind of energy, not just light energy. She can turn to electricity. She can turn into sonic energy. She can turn into any kind of energy.
Dope. I didn't know that.
She's hanging out with Vision, talking to Adam Brashear, the Blue Marvel. Who's Blue Marvel? Think of a black guy who's Superman, who also has
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. He hangs out with Captain Marvel out in space in Alpha Flight, and he talks to other planets and he monitors stuff like that because he's super strong. Him, Monica Rambeau, can never age.
Yeah, he's the greatest guy ever. He's from like ever.
Because his power is matter. He has power. He takes his power from
he'll
matter.
always have matter.
Always something to use. Okay, they're hanging out with Vision and this like Asian girl who was on an Avengers team named Tony Ho. Tony with an eye, she has pink hair, and she's like, "Look, Vision. Ever since the Hulk came back and crushed your fucking head, you've been fucked up. And we know it's not your diet because you still absorb sunlight. So we really don't know what it is. Adam doesn't know what it is. Monica, she can turn to lightning, so she's gonna go in your body and figure it all out. Vision's like, you know what? I'm okay dying. You know what? I've never felt more alive than right now. You know, and it's like you can't feel alive unless you can die." And Monica's like, well, what about me? I can't die. Am I not human? He's like, I don't know. I worry about myself. Anyway, Tony's like, all right, well.
What a dick, right?
Tony's like, okay, well, Tony Ho. She's like, okay, well, we can work on Vision because it's not like he's going to die too soon because he still has his sun energy. As long as the sun doesn't go out, it's cool. The sun goes out. The sun went out on on Hercules and Rocket too. Like, it's just pitch black outside. Like, what the fuck? It's nighttime. Fucking Hawkeye's hanging out with Scarlet Witch in the West Coast. They're at a diner. He's like, hey, so how are you and Dr. Voodoo doing? She's like, hey, we're moving in together. He's like, hey, that's pretty nice. She's like, I brought you your old shit from the mansion. He's like, whoa, cool. Sonic arrows. Oh, Pym particles from my old Goliath suit. Oh, the man, the myth, the legend, Captain America. I remember I was reading this when we didn't get along and I was trying to blackmail it with shit. Good times. Lady's like, you guys want more coffee? He's like, blacker than black. And then the fucking sky goes out, like the lights go out. Bam, go back to Adam Brashear. He's like, all these planets have their suns taken. Like, it's nighttime on all these planets. Even the Shi'ar, like, society, like, there's a Shi'ar society, and, like, they're aliens, but there's a specific, like, sect of them that live inside, like, a sun. And he's like, even it's nighttime over there, too. Needless to say, they're going crazy. It's insanity over there. So you have the Grandmaster. You remember his daughter from Avengers No Surrender, how it's like he had a daughter and she was like an Avenger. She like planted herself in there with the memories and stuff. She's back and she's collecting people. Oh wait, it's nighttime. What's happening? Hulk's here, because this is before he came to terms with everything. And so like he's just walking down the street and then he's like, no, I'm in hell. And he turns into the Hulk. You're like, shit.
Can you imagine like Bruce Banner just walking down the street with his like little paper and he's like,
he's like, Hulk is like, well, what else is new, Banner? And so fucking the fucking lady's like picking up all these people. Like first she goes and picks up the Hulk and she's like, it's a fucking terrifying creature that's coming. I know who did this. And he's like, what is this, the Elder Gods or something? She's like, no, it's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Well, second most terrifying. And he's like, you silver-tongued bitch. All right, I'm with you. Bam, we got one. She teleports to like fucking LA. She's like, Scarlet Witch, we need your help. You are one of the Omega level mutants. You can help us right here. And Clint's like, nice, Avengers run. And they're like, oh, we don't need you, Clint. Like Clint's like, what the fuck, Hulk? What do you mean you don't need me? He's like, we don't need an Arrow guy for this. And he's like, oh, is this because I shot you? Look, me and Banner came to terms with this. And Hulk is like, you know what? You should come. You should come, but don't you ever get caught alone with me. He's like, why? Well, I just want to make sure we come to terms on this. So like the Hulk like grabs him by his shoulder and like Hawkeye's like, oh man. Fucking goes back to like Hercules and everything. She's like, we need you, Hercules. He's like, yes, a hero is always summoned for a quest and a hero always answers the call. And so he goes too, and she's like, okay, what are we dealing with? She's like, somebody attacked Olympus. He's like, fuck. And so like they're leaving and like everybody's teleporting, like fucking Rocket Raccoon's like, yeah, no, this ain't got nothing to do with me. And so he tries to leave, but the Hulk grabs him and pulls him back, because I guess the Hulk and him are friends. They met before and like they're cordial. Yes. They're cool. He's a Hulk, Rocket. So that's cool. So it's nighttime. Vision's obviously gonna die. You got a lot of stuff with Wanda and Jericho, Brother Voodoo. So I guess they're gonna be part of the West Coast Avengers after this, because Hawkeye's been asking. Rocket's cool. Fucking Hercules is amazing. Hercules is like Thor on steroids. It's fucking dope. On steroids. Anyway, they go back to Mount Olympus and everybody's dead. All the gods are dead. It's all burnt to the ground and everything. Athena's the only person left. He's like, oh, Athena, what's this? She's like, no, you can't say the name. It's she who should not be named. And he's like, God damn it. And he's like hugging her dead body and stuff like that. And then like people are like, God damn, what happened? And Scarlet Witch is like, I believe like the goddess of death in like Greek mythology or whatever in Greek myth is Nyx, right? NYX. And then like that's when Nyx shows up, puts her hand through Scarlet Witch's head, and she was like, yeah, you probably should not have said my name. And then it's over.
Whoa.
Dope. 10-part weekly series. I guess they're doing this every year.
That's number one?
That's number one. So this is exactly how Avengers No Surrender started. Fucking just action right off the fucking gate. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right, that's Avengers No Road Home number one by Al Ewing, Jim Zub. Who else was on it? God damn it, Al Ewing, Jim Zub, and the last one is Mark Waid. And the artists are Paco Medina, Juan Velasco, and a bunch of others are going to be on it. So, get down with the get down, part 1 to 10.
Nice.
Dang, Chris, can you top that? That sounds like that's going to be like comic of the week.
Well, not the one I'm about to tell you. Justice League Dark, number 8. So, yeah, it's by Tinian and by Martinez Bueno. What a great name.
I know.
What a great nomar.
I'm the good one.
And then Fernandez and Anderson. All right, so it opens up with your boy... Man Bat, and he's over here trying to like figure out why he has always been really bad at magic, because he's like, magic is essentially like math. Sometimes you have an incantation, sometimes you have a talisman or a rune and shit. A plus B equals C sometimes, so you just gotta set up this shit. But it seems to be that I'm not the type of person to implement the other side of magic. So we start to learn about the other side of magic. Go back to Zatanna. She and fucking Wonder Woman getting attacked by these 3 like spectral demons and shit, and they're all getting the upper hand and shit. So then Zatanna just comes up and then uses some spell to absorb all the beings into herself, and she's like, yeah, cool, I'll just keep them here. and they're like really fucking deadly.
You have
And
a
Wonder
list of
Woman's
all the
like,
cool things that Tanda's done so far in 8 issues.
we're gonna need that list because there's some crazy shit. It's not Doctor Strange-esque, but whoa. And then one woman's like, yo, hey, those entities that you just absorbed, isn't that kind of dangerous? And she's like, yeah, that's the bottom of my worries right now. I got bigger shit to worry about. Magic's being undone. All these people are dead. Everything's coming to terms. The other kind is coming in. The upside down man. I ain't worried about these people right now. Get your priorities straight. Huh?
Isn't the Upside Down Man from like the first issue?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Dang,
I know which one that guy is.
Whoa.
That's a
Okay.
cool
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So then, like, we go to, like, the Oblivion bar. And Swamp Thing left his little minions, like, little shrubbery versions of himself, helping out Bobo while they, like, serve all these patrons. And Bobo's kind of mad that he told these niggas about the Oblivion bar because it gets bigger to fit the needs of everybody and shit. And he's just, like, understaffed and he's making jokes. But then fucking Etrigan, like, in the human form, he comes over, Jason Blood or whatever, and he just recounts how he failed at a certain mission. Swamp Thing appears because the shrubbery formed together into one giant shrub, which is Swamp Thing. And he's like, that's unacceptable. And Bobo's like, chill. So as Bobo's going, chill, essentially what happens is like the Upside Down Man attacks. He attacks the bar. And everybody's like, oh shit. And my nigga Bobo was like, run. And he's like, do you really think that there's anywhere you could go? But then Bobo pulls out the sword and swipes into reality, and everybody starts to escape into that shit, into the portal, into this little ether realm that they were in a couple of issues ago. And then as the portal's starting to close, there's people getting attacked by demons and dying and shit like, save me, don't leave me behind. And Bobo's like, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And it's over. And I'm like, damn. And then Bubba's like, who he like kind of like wipes his brow and shit, but he has to deal with some shit on the other end because Dr. Fate and all his goons is over there. And it's like, no, Bubba, it's just beginning. Yeah, fucking dope. I heard that the Tales of Man-Bat in issue 7 was really good. I didn't read it, but this one's pretty good. I know a big bad is coming up soon because they got so much shit they got to deal with now. So, yeah, you should probably check it.
Nice.
I'm checking the next
So
issue.
do you recommend like fucking that as a whole? Like that run as a whole? Seems pretty nice.
Yeah, because they like they're incorporating the other side of like with magic, with like Constantine, with Swamp Thing, and then you have like how they were talking in the last issue about Frankenstein. You got these vampires, you got all these like demons and shit. So it's kind of like widening the like spectrum of things. And you get to see unconventional people come together. You got this genius ass dude who was once a fucking huge villain against Batman, turning himself into like a magician of sorts. So it's like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of character growth.
Nice.
All right. Well, what was your first one?
Captain Marvel number 2.
Oh, jeez.
Let me tell you, Captain Marvel number 2, written by my girl Kelly Thompson. So you know it's gonna be good. And the artist is Carmen Carnero. So basically, where we left off, Roosevelt Island has been taken over, and there's like a huge like dome over it, like an invisible dome. And Captain Marvel just ran into the dome. She was allowed through, but the rest of the male Avengers, so like Thor, Captain America, Rhodey, all those people could not get in there. They like bounced off.
Oh, the real niggas. That sucks.
Yeah, they all bounced off, so they can't be in there. And so then Jen Walters shows up, and so they tell her, they're like, oh, this is what's going on, basically catching her up. And then... Wait. Huh?
Do they call her Jen Walters, or do you?
I call her Jen Walters.
Yeah, I figured. I just... Go ahead. Go ahead.
Walters. But there's actually a lot of Jennifers in this book, so I'm already in love. But anyway, so She-Hulk shows up, they catch her up, and then they're like, yo, we gotta go downtown because there's some vampires over there, so Jen, you stay here. And then they asked Rhodey to go with them, and he's like, yeah, I'll go with you, but I have to come back. Because him and Captain Marvel had that thing or whatever, so he has to make sure she's okay or whatever. Whatever,
Lay
I
down
don't
some
care.
pipe.
So they leave, and then so we're back inside the dome, and Captain Marvel's fighting Nuclear Man, aka Machismo, aka an old Fantastic Four villain. And so he's just real like manly machismo and stuff, and so he's like calling Captain Marvel a wench and like
Oh,
saying,
nice.
he's like saying she's like inferior and she needs to pay him respect and shit.
Tell me about the
Toxic
time
masculinity.
where he was like, "Oh, I'm not even shocked."
No, okay, I will get there. But there's this part where she like knocks him out, and then she like walks up to him, and she's like, "Yeah, you need to watch yourself." And then he punches her in the gut and like throws her across the thing, and he's like, "Get off of me, you wench!" And then that's when the other females come, and it's Hazmat, Spider Woman, which is also a Jennifer, and Echo. So they show up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not even shocked. You women have always been faithless Herodins." I was like,
Nice.
a Herodin? So I had to Google it.
He's like, "Oh, so you're gonna jump me, huh? That's the best you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You're just gonna jump me, huh?"
He's like, "Oh, so I'm not even shocked." So he leaves, and he goes,
Just like him.
he's like, oh, I am going to take my exit, and I'm going to come back when it suits me, wenches. Goodbye. And so he just leaves. And
Nice.
so they're like, what?
Nice.
What's good? And so Captain Marvel's just happy that she's seeing her best friend, Spider Woman. And so they basically tell her and kind of catch her up in this apocalyptic world that the time moves faster inside the dome. So like total, the dome's been there for 50 days, like inside the dome. But outside, that's like maybe 4 days.
Damn. Hyperbolic time chamber.
Because they said 25 days was a day and a half outside
Ooh.
the dome. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I was just like, whoa, okay. So basically, they're just doing world building after that. You find out they got this secret bunker. There's no men except for one. His name is Sam. And he supposedly escaped from the Citadel. And that's where everyone else is, like all the other males are. And so basically, they show her around. They show what weapons they have and everything like that. And of course, she's a captain. So of course, when they get attacked, she's like telling them orders.
It looks
and
like
fighting
Mad
off.
Max.
Yeah,
That's what it
100% looks like Mad Max. And then there's just these giant like metal robots, and they come and attack. And then they capture the Sam, the only male, and they call him the Prince. They're like, we know he looks small and puny, but don't destroy the prince. And then they capture
He's like,
Captain.
"Yeah, I'm pretty important around here, ladies."
And then they capture Captain Marvel because basically in this apocalyptic world, like people's powers aren't like efficient, like they're not on all the time. Like for example, Hazmat, she's wearing all her gear, but right now she has no powers at all. And it's kind of funny because Captain Marvel is like, then why are you wearing all your gear? She's like, just in case my stuff comes back. Like, I'm a toxic, like, spewing, like, person. Like, I could kill someone by touch.
Are you sure you're a captain?
Right,
Are
exactly.
you sure? Are
Like,
you sure you're a captain? Are you sure you got any foresight? You don't.
And also, so Echo is this cool character that's deaf. But basically, like, she has cool fighting powers and things like that. But she's deaf. And so there's this part where they're, like, walking and Captain
She echoes
Marvel.
movements.
Oh, yeah, that. So Captain Marvel's talking, and she's like, why isn't Echo answering me? They're like, she's deaf.
Dumbass. Are you sure you're a captain? Are you
Right.
sure you're a captain?
Right. Again, are you a captain or not? So basically, it just wraps up with her getting captured, and then the metal people are saying, don't hurt the princess. So Sam is the prince, Captain Marvel is the princess. And so they capture her, and then She-Hulk comes from the skies. And she's like, ah! Loses her powers, passes out, and that's how it ends.
Wow. How anticlimactic.
I know. I was so excited. And like Captain Marvel was so excited too because she got captured. And then she hears this scream and she's like, oh, She-Hulk, you are in trouble now. And then she loses her powers and passes out. She's like, oh, Jane!
Yeah, so, damn.
Catch it, get it. It is good.
All right, well, shit. To follow up on that one, I got let's go back to DC. I got Batman and Flash story. So this one, the first part was Batman 64. This is Flash 64. The whole story arc, it's a 4-part story called The Price. The first one was called Price of Justice. This one's called Price of Innocence. And man, all right. So this is what happened. This is all you need to know. At the beginning of like the Batman run, there was a guy named Gotham, a girl named Gotham Girl who got powers one way or another. More they used the powers, quicker they died. The guy, he's dead. Gotham Girl lost her sanity. Batman thought he fixed her, but not really. So she attacked the Flash Museum, and now they're on the case. So it's Batman and the Flash, and they're talking to themselves about like, shit, well, Wally's still dead, and we fucking haven't figured that out, so, we're not really talking, but you know what? This is nice. And it's like, their inner monologues, like, saying, like, he's trying at least. Like, oh, well, like, the Flash, like, he's always been a great detective. Batman's always been a great detective, so it's like, you're kind of building that stuff. That's cool, whatever. They track her down to, like, some, like, random-ass island with a castle, right? Because, like, some plant. They find a plant. Flash is like, look, the film on this plant can be tracked down somewhere else. And they go to an island. They basically find her in the castle. But before they find her, they're looking through all these rooms. And they find a room with all these pictures of all these heroes. Some are photographs. Some of them are internet clippings. Some of them are news clippings.
Over them?
Some of them, no, just a sec.
Okay.
just a sec. You're going to like this. Okay. Some of them are hand drawn and fucking like, they're like shitty costumes that are hand drawn. And he's like, Flash is asking Batman, like, yo, the fuck, how'd you let this happen? And Batman's like, I've been distracted a little bit. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you always distracted? I thought you were supposed to be a detective. He was like, okay, let's narrow this down. They have costumes, right? Who gave them their costumes? And Batman's like, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, okay, who made Robin's costume? Alfred. Who made your costume? Alfred. Who made their costume? I don't know. So he's like, shit, Batman. And Batman's like, wait, what's that sound? And so they go out to the main room where there are all these pods where these people are like stuck in with like tubes and stuff like that. Funny. And they're like, it's like tubes like green like liquid and they're like green vats and stuff like that. And like some of them like are the vats are cracked open and like the liquid like spilled on the ground and like the body in there is all skeleton. Some of them like the people are still hanging out and one of them is Gotham. So then Gotham Girl shows up and it's like, hey, Flash, Batman, see, I get to be hero too. You see, I'm a hero because my brother was a hero because all he wanted to do was save people. And all I want to do is save my brother. So I'm the greatest hero of them all. And I'll show you. And I don't need your help anymore, Batman. And then like it shows like
That's
her.
not a good idea.
And then like she has like the vial and she's about to like put it in like her brother's tube. And then they're like, oh my God, it's Venom. So they got like Bane Venom and it shows that Bane was like behind her and Bane was like supplying her with like the venom and the chemicals and he was the one that was telling her to destroy the Flash Museum and stuff. It's all been Bane's plan. And also you have some stuff where it's like Iris is mad at Batman for fucking killing Wally second-handedly and fucking
Look at this face. She's like, I don't care.
She's telling Flash like, hey, yeah, don't hang out with Batman. And fucking Batman's
you
like,
can't tell me who to hang out with.
Pretty much. And like Flash is like, all right, change the subject. How's Selena? And Batman's like, oh, you haven't heard about Selena? Let's just get this mission done.
He's like, damn it, Batman, what have you been doing?
So I like it. I like Joshua Williamson. And who was the artist for this one? It's a different artist than the first one. It's Rafa Sandoval. So those are the two artists for this. It's fucking dope. I like how they're like building the whole Batman Flash thing, and I also like how Flash is fucking just all right, Batman. Fuck it, I'm tired of your shit. Like Batman's talking
Flash is definitely the better detective.
Oh yeah, he's talking about like in this. Batman also says that he's a better detective than him. Like Flash is a better detective than Batman. Batman's words, and Flash is faster than Superman. Batman's words. And so it's like, damn, everybody's giving big ups to Flash. But I mean, he's the writer of Flash, so he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do my thing. So fucking awesome. The Price of Innocence, fucking awesome. Drawing is fucking crazy. It gives you like all those vibes with like the shadows and the creepy like fucking layer and stuff like that. This girl's going fucking crazy. She dipped out, and they have to catch up to her and stop her from destroying more stuff. So we got 2 issues to see what happens. Next issue is who is Gotham Girl. But we already know who she is, so I'm not really too sure what we're going to do too much on that. But, yeah.
Chris, what did you have next?
Oh, man. Which one do I want to do? Fuck it. I had Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. Number 3.
All right.
Okay.
And I believe it's, Higgins and Reyes who was on it.
Nice.
So it opens up with Bucky getting his arm worked on by Tony.
Start.
Tony, okay. Tony is Bucky's repairman and shows up twice a week, mad as fuck, to do maintenance on Bucky's arm.
Okay.
Tony is on call and he's mad. So it's like, it'd probably be smarter to just have replacement arms.
Is Tony gonna give him new arms?
He might, Jen. He might. Anyway, while they're going on having that little banter back and forth of like, I'm sick and tired of being this dude who always shows up like, I'm Iron Man, dude. I'm not a repairman. Anyway, like while they're doing that shit, like
Iron Man, why don't you just send an iron suit to go repair it then, asshole?
I don't think Bucky puts.
Keep going.
Yeah. So Bucky is being like psychoanalyzed by Doc Samson. His name is RJ, and Doc Samson is like, so yeah, a lot of fucking shit's happened to you, huh? Like the guy sent you on a mission so you could join Hydra. You failed the mission. He was gonna kill you. The target of the mission saved you and then took you in. It's gotta be some shit. And RJ's being like a fucking teenager, just like, I don't have to talk to you. I ain't even say shit or whatever.
Wait, who's RJ?
It's like RJ's Bucky's Bucky.
Oh, RJ's in therapy.
Yeah, with Doc Samson. So that's pretty fucking hilarious. So after therapy, RJ leaves and then steals Bucky's diary and reads it, his journal and all that stuff, what's been going on in his life. So I'm like, that's private. Yeah, right. But then it all like shows up, like it picks up. So Bucky leaves and he's going to go protect some guy. It doesn't really fucking matter who the guy is because I don't care because the cameo's coming up. So like Bucky's gonna go save this guy, and then Bucky RJ shows up and he's gonna go and help because he's like, you know what, Bucky may not be that bad of a guy. He's really helping me out, so maybe I should give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I just went through his fucking diary, whatever. So like he shows up to try and help and everything.
With his feet up.
He's kicking the feet.
Licking his finger when he page turns.
So they show up to like save this guy who's in like a witness protection kind of thing. He's like in hiding for a reason. So they show up to make sure that he's good, and the cameo comes in. There's fucking dots everywhere, and RJ is like, hey, what the fuck is this? What's going on? And then Bucky's like, oh no, get out of here. But it's too late because the fucking Spot shows up. from Spider-Man, nigga. The fucking spot with the whole dude. He shows up and he's an assassin, and he's like, It's funny we haven't met each other in such ever. We haven't crossed any paths, Winter Soldier, because we're both assassins. I'm like, oh my god, it's the fucking Spot, and he throws a spot, and they're all going everywhere and shit. And
he's
then
just throwing his spots everywhere.
Dog, he's throwing everywhere, and fucking Bucky's like pushing little Bucky out the way and gets his arm cut off, and he's like, so his arm's gone right after Tony fixed it.
Is
and
it
then the
still
Spot,
doing like that 9-panel layout?
Oh, dope.
That's
it's
nice.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Does it show
Like
a lot of
he
facial
changes it a
expressions?
little bit, so it's not like the whole cube, but it pretty much he's still doing it. It's pretty nice.
I feel
But-
like with those 9-panel layouts, it's like real focus on like facial expressions. Like,
Yeah, it went right to that because the whole background was all red, and he was like, "Fuck, my arm's gone and shit." So like, he
Tony's
tells
somewhere,
like
told him. You need more. I got more.
RJ takes the dude and like tries to run out the house and shit. And then fucking Bucky's getting his ass kicked by like feet and punches and shit, just getting beat up through all the spots in the room. And as Spot turns his attention to like fucking RJ, he's like, "You guys ain't gonna get out of here. What the fucking Spot? I can be anywhere." So then Bucky tackles him into like one of the spots and ends up in his own dimension. Yep. He's like, "Oh, you want to come here? You ain't very smart. I guess your brain's whipped with your arm." And then starts punching him like it's like 20 arms and 20 feet hit this nigga at once, and he's getting bludgeoned and shit. I'm like, yo, you getting your ass
this dude's
whooped.
out there punching like Luffy.
So like fucking
you know
the Spot.
Fucked up, right? You know you fucked up, right? You know nobody comes to my realm. You know nobody comes here, right? Let me show you why. That's awesome.
That is so dope.
So fucking RJ leaves the dude, goes to Bucky's bike, pulls out a replacement arm. Jen, yes. He had a replacement. Grabs the replacement arm, comes running back to the house, jumps into the other world, puts it on Bucky, and then he's like, "Oh, what? You think just because you got an arm that it's gonna stop the Spot?" And then fucking Bucky knocks him the fuck out with the arm because he started like gotten all this electrical charge and shit, but KO'd the nigga in one swipe. And then like fucking he has this heart-to-heart with RJ, and RJ goes like, "Yo, man, I read your fucking diary. You're a fucking liar. You say that I'm here because I can probably have a chance at happiness and all this shit, but you haven't even found it yourself. I heard about your nightmares and shit and all the stuff that you've been through. You haven't even found it. You're a fucking liar." And then fucking Bucky's crying and shit.
He's like, "Dude, you read my fucking diary?"
Yeah, he's
cry
crying.
too. Like, dude, this dude invaded my privacy.
You're
and
hitting
then,
me with all my demons?
Yes,
Like, kid,
that's
what
what
the
it
fuck? I just saved you. Like, kid.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, and then you
sacrificed my
say,
arm for you.
Yeah, it's like, I saved you twice. You saved me. We were square. You didn't have to do this too.
We're already even, kid. Shit.
Like, fuck. But anyway, so they reconcile and shit, and RJ's like, "I guess I'll try harder." So Bucky takes him home, and as they get home, this guy's like, "RJ?" He's like, "Hey, who are you?" "I'm RJ's father." And then the book ends.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. That's going to become like a conflict later. Like, I don't want you hanging out with my son. Like,
that guy's a terrorist.
My son!
That's my boy.
my son.
Well, where's you been? Whoa, well, I've been out. I just saw him on TV.
I had to go to the store for some smokes.
On the news, so, you know, that's my boy.
That's my boy.
Yeah. I need to pick up some
Right,
smokes.
so that's Winter Soldier number 3. So, yeah, get it?
Yeah.
Got it? Is it good?
Good. It's good. It's good.
Nice.
I can't wait for my next one. I'll tell you that much.
All right. What's your next
First, let me tell you
Go ahead.
Ironheart number 3. So
Tell me.
basically, Ironheart, she's
Wait.
What?
Tell him that thing about glass.
I know, I am.
Oh, nice.
Can I catch him up to what we're going to do first?
Oh, I thought that was just like a fun fact you told me earlier.
No, she opens up and talks about glass.
Oh.
But anyways, catching up, Ironheart, she's in MIT. She got her own lab. She has an AI now based off her best friend that was killed. And then also this girl that helped her back in high school, like in the beginning, like first couple of days, she kind of helped her out. She's missing. So here we are with the flashback. So you know your girl is happy. And the flashback is Riri's high school graduation. And her first thought is, hey, most people don't know that glass is a liquid. It's just that its atoms and molecules move super slow, but it's really a liquid and not a solid.
This is true.
Dope.
This is true.
I didn't know that.
It's melted sand. It's melted sand and silicon and everything.
Yeah, I knew that, but I was like...
One word. So it's just that she graduates, and then it shows that her mom meets that girl that helped her in the first couple of days of school. And the mom was like, hey, did you graduate too? And of course, in the drawings, you can tell the girl didn't graduate. She don't got no robe, no nothing. No family's there, just her. And so she's like, oh, no, I didn't graduate. I had to drop out to help my family and yada, 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 whatever. And so...
I heard in Chicago, so...
And mom was like, oh, you know, sometimes stuff happens, but it's good that you can be there for your family. And then she just invites her over to have like cake and stuff. So the mom doesn't eat all the cake, you know, girl stuff. And so then back in present day, Riri is actually at home at her mom's house. And then her friends there, this dude, he's not important. And they're just trying to figure out how to find the girl. Her name's Deja. And so she's just in like her mom's.
Name's Deja?
Yeah, she's looking for her name's
Deja. They're doing pretty good with that kind of shit.
And so she's in there and like in their like kind of like garage, and she has this cool like projector thing and with a map of the city and trying to like triangulate where this girl could be. And then the dude's like, hey, I could help you with this kind of thing. I may not be the champions or Avengers or anybody like that. I'm just like a regular old guy. But I could help you if you want.
Who are you, insecure?
And so
that's what you're showing me.
And he was like basically asking her questions like, hey, what's going on with the champions? What's going on with the Avengers? And she's like, let's just focus on this. You know what I mean? Let's just focus on this. And so basically...
Not that good at small talk yet.
No, she sucks at small talk.
Not her, him.
And so basically,
focus on the task at hand.
2 hours later, dinner is ready, and then they're supposed to go upstairs, and then the mom calls down to her, and they run upstairs, and they find that Deja is on the news. And she's like, oh, I ran away from home because I had a lot of anxiety. And then I tripped over this tree branch and I hit my head and knocked myself out. And that's why I was missing for a few days. I'm like, bullshit. That's a lie. And then, of course, everyone...
What kind of tree you hit?
Right? So, of course...
Motherfucker ran into Groot. Bam!
So, of course, everyone in the room's like... That's a lie. Basically.
I have no idea why that reminded me of the pickup basketball game Kevin Hart and Jack Black had. I have no idea. But that's on LOL Network so pickup game, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Slayers. Keep going.
So basically, Ironheart's like, well, or Riri's like, well, I'm going to go find out some answers. And so she goes to the hospital where Deja's at, and then she like does cool Iron Man thing, like Ironheart things, and like cuts the glass and removes it because she's like, the window won't open, yada yada. So she's like, oh, no problem. Makes a hole and comes in, and she's trying to get info from her, and basically Deja's like, go away. She's like, I'm not a little kid anymore, you can tell me what's going on. She's like, go, basically like, oh yeah, you're a hero now kind of thing, like, why do you care about me, get out of my face. And so she leaves, and then you hear this voice, and it's a male's voice. And he's like, you said if I released you, she would stop looking and blah, blah, blah. And she's not, so I got to go take care of her now. She's like, no, please, no. And then like a nurse runs in, and the room's empty, and it's just Deja. And the nurse is like, it's okay, Deja, you're okay. She's like, no. It's like freaking out. It's like, whoa. Exactly.
You're a little too high.
That's exactly like that. And so then Riri and the guy, he's in like a suit, and he's like fighting her, and he has quicker agilities than her. He can turn invisible, and he's just super quick, right? And so he's like basically beating her, and he like grabs her by the throat like this and has her up in the air like Thanos did, and he's like, "You're gonna die today." And then she has like PTSD because that's what Thanos did to her, and she's like, "No!" Boom, and this beam comes from her chest.
Unibeam!
And she's like, "No!" Bah!
Nice.
And like backs him off, and then she shoots him again with 2 of her beams from her hands, and knocks him out. And then she's about to leave, and her AI is telling her like, "Hey, we should stay because my sensors are showing that he's not dead, like he's still alive. By the time the cops come here, he could like get away because he's super fast." And so she's like, "No, I'm just gonna leave." And so she leaves, and the AI is talking to her, and the AI is like, "Yo,
you gotta put your heart into it."
No, she's like, "Yo, this is the second situation you put yourself in without a plan. You need to get help for your PTSD because you keep putting yourself in these dangerous, like, life or death situations without a plan of attack or a plan of escape. You need help. You need to go talk to somebody." And she's like crying, and she's like, "No, maintenance, 2-hour shutdown." And so she makes the AI shut down for maintenance.
Yep. Because she's like, "I ain't trying to get red like this right now, bitch. You don't know me."
Exactly. And so she lands on top of this gargoyle.
This is just like Bucky. I ain't got time to deal with this.
No!
I'm crying.
Exactly. So she lands on a gargoyle, and she takes off her helmet, and she's still crying.
That's funny.
Like, "I'm not gonna take this." And then that's pretty much how it ends. The only other thing you need to know is that there are like small electronics being stolen from like different places around the city, and she figured out that all the people that they had their electronics stolen from all worked for politicians. So don't know how that's gonna circle back around yet.
Story.
But it's definitely a Chicago story. Politicians may or not be evil, but definitely
no, they're evil as fuck. We had a Falcon story back at like last year where he was in Chicago and like they were being possessed by Blackheart. So
basically, Ironheart #3 by Eve L. Ewing and Luciano Vecchio. You need to get it.
Eve L. Ewing's pretty nice.
Yeah, she's awesome.
No relation to Al Ewing, the Immortal Hulk, right? But you know what? Them Ewings know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Hey, I like that. Nice. I'm gonna tweet them that.
You should.
You Ewings know what you're doing.
I'm gonna tweet them that right now.
No, what's your last book?
My last book is Amazing Spider-Man #15 by Nick Spencer and Chris Bocciolo. So amongst others, because there's like this book is like fucking, those panels are crammed in. Like this nigga had a lot of story, and they're like, "Sorry, you got 20 pages. Make it work."
So all the panels are
small, and you're like, "What's happening?" But you can get it. It's Chris Bocciolo. Like eventually, if you stare at it long enough, you'll get it. So the only thing you need to know about this is Ned Leeds is not a fat Filipino kid like in the Homecoming movie. He's a guy. While Peter first got his job as a photographer, Ned was a reporter. There was a girl named Betty Brant who worked at the Daily Bugle. They both had a crush on. Ned Leeds ended up marrying her. Ned Leeds ended up turning into the Hobgoblin, one of the Hobgoblins. Okay. Roderick Kingsley was the real Hobgoblin. He came back. He's like, nah, killed him. No more Ned. Clone conspiracy happened. We got Ned back.
Yeah.
All right. Now that you know that, let's get back to the story. So this starts off with fucking the Lizard, if you remember last issue. We're having a nice dinner party with, Peter, Mary Jane, and the Lizard and his freak family.
Don't call us family.
They're freaks. They're freaks.
Monsters. Monsters was the word.
Billy, the Lizard's son, Kurt Connor's son, Billy, he's getting a text message on his phone that he got that he's hiding from his dad, saying like, "Hey, you can't."
There has to be a run.
Yeah, he was like,
like like the name, like Billy, the Lizard's son. Like, there has to be a run.
Billy Billy, the lizard son. Number one. So basically, he's got like a tail and everything. And he's like, touch the girl, and she's like, hey, you can't come to my party. Or whoever it is like, you can't come to my party. He's like, I'm grounded. She's like, you're always grounded. He's like, she's like, please, I can sneak you in. And then like the lizard's like knocking on his door, like, hey, Billy, can I talk to you? He's like, just a sec, Dad. And Kurt starts opening the door. He's like, Dad, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you, Dad, I hate you. What, you're tired of me? Huh? You're tired of your freak son? Because he's a freak like you? Huh? How come every time you mess up, I have to pay for it? And I'm like, whoa. We're on page 1. Calm down, Billy. So
it was a birthday last episode, last comment.
So Martha, Kurt's wife, was like, just chill, let it blow over. We'll talk to him in the morning. What's the worst that could happen? Obviously, Billy sneaks out. So, what's Spider-Man up to? Spider-Man was swinging by when he found out the Black Ant and Taskmaster were trying to capture the Rhino, remember?
Yes.
Rhino ran through a restaurant, and they tried to capture him. Spider-Man showed up. Black Ant said, you know what, fuck this. He got his little pistol out. He grew it with his pin particles, and it was a huge laser bazooka. It shot it at the building. Aunt May was in there with a bum she found. All right?
Of course she is.
Yeah, because she's a nice lady.
Well, yeah, she's a nice lady, and she's always helping people, and she always ends up being at the wrong place at the wrong
Be
time.
selfish, man.
For real. So the whole building caves in, and these people are like stuck under like under all the rubble, but there's like a pocket. So Spider-Man's like digging and everything like that. He's like, no, and like fucking Black Ant and like Taskmaster are like, oh god, I guess that guy really liked that restaurant. Sucks. And then, like Spider-Man turns around and like throws Taskmaster out there, and like he throws him out the restaurant, and like Taskmaster like lands next to the Black Ant. Black Ant was like, wow, was that embarrassing? You even told him that whole thing, like, I studied your video. Was that embarrassing? That looked embarrassing. I would be embarrassed. Anyway, let's go. They got, like, the fucking Rhino in this giant-ass, like, ball, like, this containment
I'd be embarrassed.
field. And they're just, like, pushing him. He's, like, rolling. He's like, fuck you, Spider-Man. I'll never forgive you. Why won't you help me? Spider-Man's just, like, digging through rubble. He's like, I'll never forgive you. And so, fucking Spider-Man finally digs through rubble and finds all the, like, survivors. Yeah. Takes them all out. He's like, come on, May, let's go. She's like, nah, I'm be the last one out. You got me fucked up. Let's help these people. And so they help the people out. And Spider-Man's like, man, I love my Aunt May. And fucking, like, the last person, the bum that they were trying to help out, he's on his way, but then it starts breaking down. And so he pushes May out the way. The place crumbles down. Spider-Man swings May out, and he goes back to pick him up. And he picks him up, and he's like, Ned? What the fuck?
The bum was Ned?
It was Ned Leeds. And he's been walking around since Clone Conspiracy. He was like, I don't want to go see Betty because I died. I don't want her to have to deal with that. Plus, I was like a villain. I wasn't really a villain, but it was like, I was a villain.
Yeah.
So I don't want her to be all guilty and shit like that. Ned dies. Like, the rubble fell on him.
Yeah.
He stayed alive long enough to get out. And, like, Peter's like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, tell Betty, be careful. Tell Betty, be careful. And he, like, dies right there. Peter's like, well, obviously, I'm not going to tell Betty shit. Because she doesn't need this kind of guilt.
Wait, be careful. That is important, though. Like, what does she need to be careful about?
100%.
Like,
he's like, Betty's overseas right now. So it's like, I'm not going to bring this up. She's in Europe. On like a fucking, her and like Jonah be doing like fucking detective work. So fucking, she's in Europe right now, like fucking doing her thing. Peter's like, I'm not gonna tell her because this will just bring up bad memories for her. And like, so what? That was this guy's dying wish.
Yo, you don't have to say anything else. You could just be like, yo, be careful.
Yeah, that was bad. Be careful. So
don't even say that first part. Just say, be careful.
And he says that people are like after her. Obviously, like people are after her, and so like Ned knows about this.
Yeah.
Cut to the chase. We're back wrapping up the book. We're back with Kraven the Hunter in Arcade. And so like the fucking Black Ant and Taskmaster are like pushing in the Rhino and stuff like that. And he's like, nice, you got a Rhino, you got a Vulture, you got that one snake guy, nobody remembers his name. You got a real theme going on. A little heavy-handed, but I like what you're doing. He's like, oh, plus, I thought you'd like this. You remember that force field that was surrounding the Earth when Steve Rogers was Hydra? That was keeping out all the the strongest people like Spectrum and Captain Marvel and Nova. Well, guess what? I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. So I have it now. So it would be very, very easy for me to put it over a small African nation. So Nick Spencer also wrote Hydra Cap, so this is why it's like sinking in. He's like, the only thing that could stop this is like those like nega bands that like whatever that fucking cosmic power heroes got. And so he's like, the only thing that could stop it is those. So if you want me to put this over an African country so that you can claim it as your own kind of, or your African country, you know, that you have, you know, that'd be nice. He's like, no. I don't want to put this over no African country. I'm putting this over Manhattan. So he's going to put a dome that you can't break around Manhattan again, put all these animal creatures out there and do his deadliest hunt. Yeah.
Dope.
Fucking awesome. So he's getting all the animal villains together. They all already in jail. Like, I think Rhino was the last one because the ramp up starts next issue. And it's going to be the deadliest hunt, Kraven edition. Ooh. That's how you bring back Kraven. That's how you hype up a Kraven movie. This is awesome. All right.
Chris?
Next.
That sounds really cool.
Yes.
That sounds really, really cool. All right. I forget which number it is. I think it's number 8. But Jen.
Yes.
Corey. My next book is Punisher.
It is
The Punisher by Rosenberg. I think it's Kodransky and fucking Fabella. All right. Now let me tell you, nigga. Corey. This morning, I'm pretty sure I told you that blind nun was gonna be stick to this Punisher. My nigga, it opens up with this bitch giving him an army. So I'm like, she's like, this is Punisher's army. It is like she's over here teaching people and everything, getting them, whipping them into shape or whatever, giving them orders and shit. And they just regular run-of-the-mill prisoners and stuff like that with backgrounds. And then he's like, this ain't no army. These guys can't fight. And this guy was like, I can fight. He's like, trust me, you guys can't fight. So she's like, yeah, look, these people are going to die if you help them. And like some of these people are going to die if you help, but a lot of these people are going to die if you don't. Let these people have a choice in their destiny. And he's like, destiny? That doesn't sound much like fate, sister. He said, she's like, yeah, whatever. He convinces him. He goes back and he's like, all right, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this fast. We're going to do this my way. If you don't want to do this shit or whatever, leave now. So basically, what ends up happening is they end up stealing light bulbs with like filament and shit that they're unused and everything. He says, make sure you get all the light bulb. Make sure you get some gas. He's like, how much gas? We only need 2 rags full. So we need 2 damp rags full of gas. I was like, that is oddly specific. You don't think about shit like that. Anyway, this nigga said, I also need bags of manure. So these niggas went and got all the products and everything. And
he's making a bomb.
yeah, this nigga's making bombs. What?
Nigga, they're all in prison right now, but nigga. Okay, so all these people are doing everything, and it takes about 2-3 days to procure all the items and shit, and then everything's a go from the jump. They go and clog all the toilets above where the locker room is for the workers and shit, or the guards and stuff. They clog all the toilets with clothes and gloves and everything, latex gloves. So when the water hits the gloves and everything, it makes a powder and really clogs the shit up. The pipes burst and it's right over the locker room. So all that sewage and shit is all fucking the locker rooms. They doing this in the morning right before the shift change, so the people can't change into their gear and get all their gear and shit ready and everything. So that's going on. They got another nigga who went and drank some shit that fucks you up so bad that you throw up. So he drank it, threw up all over some shit, and like fucked that stuff up. So people are all like, "Fuck! Now we gotta deal with this shit." So then, so after that part, whatever, what else they do?
Good morning.
As all that stuff is going on, like they fucking start putting all the bombs or the manure and the light bulbs and everything. They start planting the devices everywhere they need it to be, and then they fucking blow communications and fuck all that shit up. at the same time that they start a riot in the gym. So like, God damn, what the fuck is going on right here? And he's like, we need to call like somebody to send reinforcements or some shit. But like then communications and all that shit was just gone. So everything's going to shit right now, and they're trying to like solve the final problem, quote unquote, which is the riot in the gym. They get to the gym and they come in the riot gear. They're all ready for war and shit. And they're like, command, what are we gonna do? He says, go in. The command center tells them to go in the gym and like subdue the people. The people in the gym immediately leave together. So now it's just the cops in there. And the command says, now lock the doors. And the doors are like, command, what the hell are you doing? And then the command was like, and start the fire extinguisher protocol. So like the sprinklers above them start going off, and it's not water, it's fucking gas. He said, command, what are you doing? And fucking Frank is there, dog, with a lighter. Throws a light, everybody goes on fire. The prison is ours. I was like, what? So now they got them. They're off the grid. Oh man, when I finished reading it, I was shaking. I was like, oh. They cut off the communications. They killed all the people who are up in there. They're running the whole prison. Fucking Frank got an army. Fucking Stick is there, the female Stick. I was like, yo, this is fucking good. I'm glad I got this fucking book, because I said this book was gonna be good. I fucking knew it. Yes.
Begalia.
Yes.
Begalia.
I knew it.
It's a book
I knew it.
by Matthew Rosenberg, and it's got the country Begalia in it. It's gonna be badass. That's all I know. That's all I know. Winter Soldier and fucking Hawkeye went there. Rocket Raccoon went there. Fucking Punisher's there. Badass.
This book is fucking dope. People. This book is fucking dope.
So you're saying people should buy it?
Oh hell yeah! He went from being a regular Punisher with like the hair and everything to a long ass hair Punisher to a shaven Zahir from Avatar Punisher. Like niggas out here.
Dang, crazy.
Oh man, book of the week is gonna be hard this week.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
My last book was Miss Marvel number 38. And this is G. Willow Wilson's last Miss Marvel book before they switch over to Saladin Ahmed.
11 volumes, 5 years.
Man. But Solomon Ahmed is on this book too. There's like 5 authors on this book and 6 artists on this book.
God damn.
Like she went out with a bang. She's like, listen, if this is going to be my last book, I want my peoples on the book. And it shows. So first off, let me just tell you this. If you are not a gamer, you are not going to understand this book at all. There is so many references to different games that it's like, oh, this is dope. So basically we're open up.
She's writing Wonder Woman now.
Yeah. Oh. So we're opening up and Kamala wakes up, she hits her snooze alarm, and she's basically not feeling it today. She's like, you know what? Like, even though I'm a hero, I gotta still pretend to be a full-time student and a kid. And sometimes, that shit is draining. Yeah. Okay?
It was kind of like Ferris Bueller's Day On when you think about it.
So, like, it just basically kind of shows, like, she's starting her morning. She goes to the bathroom. Her brother's there. And she's like, get out of the way, Amir. You don't even live here anymore. But he just got a new job as the new, like, sheik at the church. And at the mosque. And so he's like, hey, I stayed here last night so I can be closer to the church because I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm important now, okay? I'm important. She's like, get out. So she just gets ready, goes downstairs to eat breakfast, and her dad's there. And he's like, hey, you got a biology test today, right?
That's how you talk to the leader of your church, huh?
Well, he's just a brother to me.
So her
he's just like, family to me.
Did you study for your biology test? And she's like, yeah, I did. So she's about to exit out the door, and her mom's like, hey, don't forget your lunch. And she's like, oh, don't worry, I'm just gonna stop by like my favorite hot dog stand and get myself a hot dog. She's like, ugh, don't eat that. Take this. So she takes it, skips the hot dog, gets to the Circle Q, and Nakia, Bruno, and Zoe are there, her friends, and they're just chilling there. Kind of, Bruno still works at the Circle Q, so he's opening it up, making sure inventory is all good and everything like that. And then the freezer messes up, And one of the dudes that used to bully Bruno before he left for Wakanda, like, they're friends now. So he's there, and he's like, hey, Bruno, the freezer's still jacked up. And he's like, what? That's weird. And so then...
Wait, this is before class?
This is all before class.
Oh, this is like that Smallville. Oh, I got first and second period off.
Yeah, so... And then Kamala walks in, and she's like all mopey, you know what I mean? And she's like, they're like, what's wrong? She's like, oh, you know, just usual stuff.
My
And
life,
what
isn't wrong?
Complaining, but I'm just tired of it. And they're like, listen, people would love to have your problems, Kamala. And she's like, I know.
What about you? You want my problems right now? You want my problems right now? Shut the fuck
She's
up.
like, I know. And then there's an explosion, and there's this cool like panel where like all her friends are like scared of the explosion, and then Kamala's ready for action. She's like, whoa! Where's the explosion coming from? It came from the freezer. And then the freezer turned into a portal, and it sucked in everybody except for that guy that said the freezer was broken. So just Kamala and all her friends got sucked in. And so
it like grabs him by his shirt with two fingers. It's like, you actually know.
or like it sucks everyone in and then spits him back out.
It's the exact opposite of Rocket.
Yeah, pretty much. And so they get sucked into this new world. They all get separated. And Kamala is like, like looking around the world. And she's like, it looks like I've been dropped into a video game, like an RPG. She's like, okay, I know how this works. I'm going to talk to people and I'm going to figure this out. So she just talks to the hot dog guy. The hot dog guy gives her information to go to the desert. She goes to the desert and finds out that Zoe is there, and she defeats Zoe by saying like, hey, Zoe, I know your secret. Don't worry. I'm your best friend, and we will do what we can to move forward. And basically Zoe's secret was that she held inside that she was a lesbian for a very long time. And she like, yeah, I know. She was like
another one?
I know. She was dating this jock.
Where's all the straight love? I don't feel no representation. I'm the minority.
They don't want to get together. That's why Bruno and Kamala are not together.
Yeah, studies show that people, like straight people our age, are actually not together.
Yeah, we're not together. We're not trying to get together.
We're an anomaly.
Yeah. So then basically to pass the level, you have to crush this crystal. And so she crushes the crystal. Zoe's on her team. And then they go to the next level. And then it's like Zelda. So it looks like an old Zelda game. And they're like just moving around and stuff. And so they go talk to Gabe. And Gabe's basically just like, oh yeah, there's a Minotaur that we have to celebrate and give offerings to. My mom told me never to go over there because it's not safe. But if you want to go there, you go to follow the blue flowers to the grove. And so when they leave, Kamala's like, man, that was lame. I thought Gabe was going to at least join our party or at least give us a cool side mission. We didn't even get no cool side mission.
Like, no, I just like to farm.
So, like,
it's nice out here.
He was just chopping wood. So they left and he was still chopping wood. And so they go out and they find out that Bruno's the Minotaur. And of course, he's a beta.
Lord.
So he's not very, like, assertive or anything like that. And so Kamala's like, oh, for a Minotaur, you're not really, like, mean and stuff like that. He's like,
domineering.
He's like, you're the second person that's told me that today.
Today, I was gonna say that, but today.
And Zoe goes, who was the first? Me.
So, who was first? Me. This nigga woke up. You know, you're not that scary for a Minotaur. Stupid.
When they walked up, he was talking to himself because he was looking down a well, and you know how there's water in the well? It was filled all the way up to the top. And so he's looking at his reflection just like, I gotta deal with the people.
A Minotaur Eeyore.
Right now.
And so basically they figured out that the crystal's in the well. And so she stretches her arm out, crushes the crystal, and they go to the next level. And the next level is like Minecraft, or like that part in Spy Kids 3 where there's like different platforms and they kind of like disappear when you jump on them. That's where they were. And so Mike's there. And Mike just tells her how to basically participate in the next level. And she has to get the Storm Sage. And the Storm Sage is her best friend, Nakia. And so Nakia keeps like getting away from her every time she tries to get close. And so she thinks about it and she's like, Nakia, I'm sorry I kept all these secrets from you and pushed you away and didn't tell you I was Miss Marvel. I care about our friendship and I don't want to lose you as my friend. And then that's when they got close. She crushed a crystal and they passed. And so the final level was all of them together and they're in their like kindergarten class. They said Miss Bartholomew's class. And so they're all there. And basically it was just a nice little wrap up how Kamala realizes like, yo, I came from somewhere kind of thing. Like,
kindergarten.
Like I started as like a little kid with dreams and aspirations, and now we've grown into something more. But as long as we stick together, we can do it together. And then that's how it ends. Like they get back in the circle queue, everything's all fine and dandy, and they're just smiling, best friends forever.
Nice little done in one little issue. Like,
so basically, if you never read any other Miss Marvel book, this is a great perfect book to jump in on because it kind of just tells you like, here are the characters, here's how they act, and here are how they act with each other. Boom. You can start here and just keep going on. If you just
anyway, that was our final issue, everybody.
Wait.
What about my final issue?
Wait, I thought you had Punisher, you had Captain and Winter Soldier.
And I also had Batman Who Laughs #3.
Oh.
Bonus.
Yeah. For the people who thought it was over, it ain't never over. Alright, so Snyder and fucking Jack and Baron. Alright, so check it out. So last issue of Batman Who Laughs #3, or Batman Who Laughs #2 rather, fucking Jim went to go see James. And it picks up in the same spot. Jim's trying to recruit James and like, James, help us out. Batman's there. He was like, yeah, James, help us out. Because it's like Batman's starting to lose it. He's starting to get unhinged and shit. He only has like the antitoxins that'll stave off like the Joker banner for about like a week, if that. So he's coming apart.
Ignore it.
And Batman's like, help us, because Batman Who Laughs is fucking up the last laugh protocol, which would have like saved everybody in case like there's some incident. It would have like make sure all the reservoirs were clean and would have gave a place for like clean cure or whatever. Just would have saved the city. It's a last ditch effort.
He's like, Batman Who Laughs #3.
He was like, we need to figure out how to get there. Which route would you take? Because you're the person who figures out this type of shit, James. You're the one who used to come up with these all kind of plans and machinations back in the day, James. Even Joker said you was the best, James. Which lane would you take, James? And James is like, I'm cured. I don't know anymore. Batman's like, you're a liar. Wait, which one is it? He's like, no, they've been drugging me and I'm good now.
You know, this is why people can't grow around you. People aren't allowed to grow. People can't get better around you. You just beat them up and throw them back into the psych ward. Like, what the fuck?
He's like, James is like trying to convince Batman that he doesn't know anything, and then Jim comes over. He's like, "You sure, son?" And he's like, "At 2, Papa." Like, no, nigga, I'm cured. So
yeah, no, he knows something. No, nobody ever said at 2 and don't know it.
Well, I said it too, but yeah. So as that happens, like the Batman who joined Batman Who Laughs, the one with all the guns,
shooting the guns,
yeah, he shows up and everything, and him and Batman end up having like a standoff, like a duel on some like Red Dead Redemption shit. Like it was just two of them, and they had one gun each point at one another and shit. And the Batman who shoots, that's what I'm gonna call him. The Batman who shoots, he was like, yeah, I thought you had a code, Batman. No guns. He said, and Batman is looking at him with his gun, and it's not a gun, it's his bat grapple. Why can't I say that? His bat grapple and everything, and he was like pointed at him. He said, yeah, just because I don't use guns doesn't mean I don't know how to. I'm the top 10 shot in the world. I was like, God damn it.
No, you
God
aren't,
damn it.
Bruce. No, you
So
aren't.
this nigga,
When do you practice
so this
shooting
nigga
guns?
Batman shoots.
In between your panic attacks? Fuck you. What the fuck?
No, he's like, no, you're not. the way you no,
He's
I don't
probably,
believe
like,
you. No, you're not.
Yeah, his hand. Oh, nigga.
His hand's probably shaking.
Batman holds guns like this.
Yeah, Batman holds guns and his hands shake like Stephen Strange in the movie.
Yeah.
My hands.
My hands.
Anyway, so what ends up happening is like during the duel and shit, Batman shoots his grapple and everything, and it goes flying like this. And it goes, you missed.
Oh, no.
Oh, did I? That cliche. And it wraps around the dude's leg as it hits a fucking train that's passing by and everything, just as the train passes by. So then this dude gets picked up and flown away, and then Batman's just like, whew. Now back to what I was doing. But then another Batman shows up. He says, hey, I'm a Batman from a different world. And in that world, like, I pulled some real shit because there was a whole bunch of cool shit going on and I don't give a single fuck. Hey, Batman, right behind me. You see that moon? Hey, Batman, right behind me. You see that plane in front of that moon silhouetting? Watch this. Boom. He just blows up like one of the engine turbines. It's like, and if you don't give me James, then it's over. And Batman's sitting there with James, and Jimmy's like, fuck. And Jim's like, don't give him James. You can't give him to that monster. And Batman's like,
Gordon's son is a serial killer, an ex-serial killer.
Okay.
That they took out of prison. For some reason, the Batman Who Laughs and all these other evil Batman want him. So Batman's like, do I fight all these evil Batman, or do I just give him like Jim Gordon's serial killer son and be done with it? That's, I mean, they're blowing up planes and shit.
Yeah, they're going for James and everything because James is the pretty much how they're like painting him, the greatest serial killer ever. So Batman Who Laughs wants to use James for his machinations as like a tool.
Makes sense.
So, but anyway, this other Batman was like, hey, give me James or whatever, or give me Gordon rather. He was like, give me Gordon. And then Jim's like, hey, you can't give him James, Batman. You can't give him to him. That nigga's crazy. And Batman's like, I don't think he wants that Gordon. And then takes Jim, and then Jim's fucking gone and everything. And James is like, no. So what ends up happening is Batman's in the Batcave and all that shit, and he's just chilling and all that stuff. And then fucking, he was like, hey, they were all right. And Alfred's trying to come and get him, try to figure out what's going on. And he's like, they were all right. And Alfred's like, hey, what are you doing, Batman? What are you working on, Bruce? What are you doing? He said, they was all right. He said, no, don't do it, Bruce. Don't do it. And he puts on the Batman Who Laughs mask and everything, and it ends right there.
Yo.
So, yeah.
What happened to Jim though? Is he dead?
Wait.
Back up.
So our Batman gave him James Gordon, left Jim, went back to his Batcave and was working on something and like mumbling to himself. Alfred shows up, was like, what are you doing? And he puts on the Batman Who Laughs mask. Did he laugh when he did it?
Yeah, he did a little he and everything. Oh, and I forgot like the Batman Who Laughs attacks Penguin. And he ends up attacking Penguin because he likes the whole Iceberg Lounge and everything that he created with it. And he says, like, in all the other realms and all the other worlds and everything, you were the one who put up the biggest fight and all that stuff. You're the one who endured the longest out of everyone. It wasn't race, it wasn't Joker and everything. You created the Empire, so all the Batmen have always respected you as a result and stuff like that.
And what is a penguin but another winged whatever?
Yeah,
Penguins
so
just can't fly.
Whoa.
So yeah, like
That was
Crazy. He said, "Give me Gordon," and he's like, "I don't want James. God,
I want to look at this.
give me
picture.
my dad, my dad."
Yeah,
Wait, so Avengers No Road Home #1, Justice League Dark #8, Captain Marvel #2, Flash #64, Winter Soldier #3, Ironheart #3, Amazing Spider-Man 15, Punisher #8, Miss Marvel 38, and the Batman Who Laughs #3. If you want to catch any of these or you miss any, please check us out on YouTube at Long Story Short Show. This will be uploaded tomorrow, and we'll even put some comic panels in the back for you, just in case. We do have some content up there, so please check it out anytime. But we will be back here for more reviews, discussions, and talks about comics.
Real quick, I undersold the Batman Who Laughs. Just wanted to say that. Go ahead and read it. Undersold it.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
Get it.
Yeah.
Oh!
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, we out.